Hi everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here, Yeehaw, and today we're talking jungling. This is a jungle tier list. I'm going to do two things in this tier list. First, I'm just going to sort the Pokemon based on whether or not they should even be in the jungle, or if they're kind of a borderline jungle choice. After that, I'm going to give you a breakdown as to where I think they take priority as far as jungling is concerned. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, and I'll try to give you my thoughts as I go, but this is just a basic idea of what Pokemon should and should not be in the jungle, and then what Pokemon are borderline, take them in the jungle if you don't have a choice. So we have the S tier, should jungle tier, the A, so borderline tier, and what is it, the B tier? Still got the B tier. The B tier, forget it. So let's take a look at all these Pokemon here. I'll just go in order. Let's start with Machamp. Machamp can jungle, but it is not a super strong choice. I will put Machamp in the so borderline area. It is because there are a lot of junglers that are stronger than Machamp. Machamp is a really tough Pokemon to play right now for this very reason. There are just so many Pokemon that take priority over it. So, can jungle, but I don't think is super strong there. That's my opinion on it. Absol. Absol should jungle, but also plays the lane decently well. If there are other Pokemon that really want jungle, I don't think it's the end of the world to send Absol to the lane, but Absol is a great jungler. Decidueye, let's see here. I think a lot of these are sorted in an order where they were kind of where I would place them, but let's just keep going here. Decidueye should jungle. Decidueye is terrible in lane. If you're going to play Decidueye, it's one of the harder Pokemon to have on a team. Yeah, jungling Decidueye is not a bad idea. It just needs so much experience before it's any good. Decidueye is just a really hard mon right now. Zera Aura should jungle, but could play the lane. Decent in the lane. In fact, a lot of these up at the top here, I think I have in the should jungle tier. Talonflame, absolutely okay in lane. Some people like it more than me. I think it's okay in the lane, especially you see the Japanese meta where Lucario and Talonflame go top. I mean, there's viability for it there, but it's amazing in the jungle. Greninja, jungle for sure. Gengar is kind of borderline, honestly, and it's just because there's so many better Pokemon. I would probably put it in the should jungle tier, but Gengar has its own issues, and it's just that there's so many other Pokemon you'd rather have in the jungle. Just they do so much more with the experience they get. That's just my thought here. Zarina can jungle, but I think Zarina should be in lane, personally. I could see it in the jungle if you didn't have a few other options. However, I think you could play Zarina in the lane. If you're a coordinated team and you want your Lucario top and Zarina in the lane, I can Zarina in the jungle. I can understand that, but for the most part, I think Zarina does just fine in lane. It is a little underwhelming. If you end up playing it in the jungle, I think that's fine too. It's in this tier because these Pokemon can definitely be in the jungle, but if you have any of these other Pokemon on your team, they're probably a stronger choice. Sylveon, borderline. It doesn't need it at all. In fact, I think it's amazing in lane, so I wouldn't put it in the jungle, but it could. Slowbro, not a chance ever, no way. Greedent is way better in lane, in my opinion. It could jungle. Honestly, I mean, it spends most of its time in the enemy jungle, honestly, so I don't know. I wouldn't put Greedent in the jungle unless you absolutely had to. Wiggly, no way. Ninetales, no way. Mime, no way. These Pokemon are so dominant in lane that taking them into the jungle just feels kind of criminal. I have seen some people play Wiggly in the jungle, but it's just such a lane monster. Mamo, no, you don't need to play it in the jungle. Again, a lot of these Pokemon you can. It's just that with a roster like this, there's someone on your team that is a better option in the jungle. Dragonite, absolutely in the jungle, is amazing in the jungle. Snorlax, no way. Snorlax is so good in lane, you don't need to take it in jungle. It just doesn't need the experience as much as others. That's something to notice as well, is some of these Pokemon, yeah, sure, they could be in the jungle, but they don't need the XP as much as Greninja does. Greninja needs a lot of experience to get good, but then once Greninja gets all that experience, it's really good. So that's why you'd rather have Greninja in the jungle as opposed to a lot of these other Pokemon. Lucario, you can. It's just not ideal because, again, Lucario is so amazing in lane. I'll put it in borderline because I see people do it from time to time, but I really wouldn't recommend it. Eldegoss, you're crazy if you jungle Eldegoss. Cramorant, no need at all. Cinderace, yes, one of the greatest junglers in the game. Again, very similar to Greninja. Once it gets all that experience and becomes Cinderace, it is so powerful. Crustle, no, there's no need to put Crustle in the jungle. Crustle's so mobile. I mean, just play it in lane. That's where it should go. Venusaur. Venusaur's borderline. You used to see more Venusaur junglers when it was a little more broken, but now it really isn't. I think you should play it in lane. However, you could. It's kind of weak in jungle, honestly. Blastoise is similar. I'm still saying no. I mean, I could put Venusaur down here too. You don't need to play them in the jungle. They're so much more useful in lane. I remember the Rapid Spin build. When the Rapid Spin build was really overpowered, you would have Blastoise in the jungle, but at the same time, that was really just because Blastoise was so overpowered at the time. It wasn't because it was a great strategy to have Blastoise in the jungle because of something else. It was just because it was the strongest Pokemon in the game, so you might as well give it a lot of experience. Blissey should never jungle Blissey. Gardevoir. Gardevoir's borderline. I think it's actually kind of decent. Its only problem is the problem a lot of junglers have, and that if you have a Cinderace on your team and you're taking the experience from Cinder, that's just a little tough. Gardevoir, it is borderline, because if it gets fed early and gets a lot of experience, it's actually pretty mean. It's borderline. You could do it, but I don't think you need to. Pikachu, you could actually jungle Pika pretty well, but no, you do not need to jungle Pikachu. I think Pikachu's really fun in the jungle, but it's just not super necessary to put Pikachu there. Garchomp, as strange as it sounds, it's borderline. It actually kind of performs better in lane if you really know what you're doing. In general, Garchomp is just a bit of a disaster. So it's hard to play him in lane, but if you play him in jungle, you're taking experience from people who need it. I don't know. If no one wants jungle, take it. Charizard, I feel like, is the same way. Char is probably above a lot of these choices, but I'm not ranking them or anything like that here. Could definitely play the jungle. Struggles in lane, but isn't the best jungler either. The thing I do like about Char more than a lot of these Pokemon, though, is when Char gets its Unite, it's pretty killer. So I have seen some really good teams run Char in the jungle. I just think it gets beat out by a lot of other choices here. Yeah. Okay, so that's just a broad snapshot of Pokemon that should jungle, Pokemon that essentially can jungle, but there are better choices, and Pokemon that, I mean, sending all these Pokemon into the jungle really doesn't make a ton of sense. And now, on this next list, I will go ahead and rank them in sort of a priority as to where I think they should be. Now, on to the priority in the jungle, or the ones that I think are the best. Our tiers are the God tier, and we only have one Pokemon in the God tier at any given time. We're not friggin' Norse around here. We have one God. The Slap Me Silly tier, those are Pokemon that are amazing in the jungle. The alright, it's jungle time tier, not too bad, but there are a few Pokemon that are much better. B tier, still got the B tier. The C or Colin, I'm asking you not to play this Mon in the jungle tier. I'm assuming someone out there is named Colin and they want to play some Pokemon in the jungle that they really shouldn't. And then the Don't Ever How Dare You tier. I'm going to try to sort these, and I'm going to give you, hopefully, reasons behind the sorting that makes a lot of sense. Let me know what you think in the comments if this makes sense to you. I'm honestly doing this because I think it will help people play the game better, just to understand the priority of who goes to the jungle and why it is that way. Let's start with Absol. Absol's right here. Absol is an A or B tier jungler here. Both of these tiers are pretty good. Definitely Pokemon that could be in the jungle. It's just that a lot of Pokemon take priority over them. Absol, again, as I said earlier, it actually does pretty good in lane. And the thing about it is it doesn't need to get to level 9 as badly as some other mons. Not that it isn't amazing when it's overfed. It doesn't need it as much as certain other Pokemon. Right now, I'm going to put it in this A-ish tier, the alright, it's jungle time tier. It might get knocked down to B tier here. Blastoise is the Colin, I'm asking you not to play this mod in the jungle. Not that it's impossible, it's just, it's fine in lane. You will do well with Blastoise in lane, you'll get your levels, just take some of those last hits and get yourself up to Blastoise. It would be more important to have other Pokemon leveled earlier than Blastoise. That's my thought there. Blissey, don't ever, how dare you, you're a support, stay with your team, support them. Char is that B tier. Char is you know, it's actually, here's the thing about Char. It's actually pretty dang good. And it's really good when it becomes Char, so in some ways you want to have it in the jungle, but again, this is just a critique of Charizard overall. Charizard is not as viable as other Pokemon. It's just not as strong as certain Pokemon later in the game. That could all change very soon with balance, but I will show you some of the Pokemon who are amazing. I'll put all the Pokemon into the top tier before I choose one of the gods, but here's one without question, Cinderace. Cinderace goes in the jungle for a few reasons, and it's one of the best. When Cinderace gets level 9, it's incredible. Once Cinderace gets its level 7, it's very, very mean in lane. Basically, when you are in jungle, you're trying to get as much experience as quickly as possible so that that first big fight near Dreadnought or Rotom with your team, you are over leveled and you can kind of control the entire battle and wipe out the enemy team. That's really the idea behind the junglers here. So Cinderace is one of the best Pokemon for this. He just becomes a damage god if you put him in the jungle. In lane also, he's not the absolute worst, but he's kind of weak in lane. You really don't have great last hit potential. You just kind of have to hang back and hope you get some KOs. Maybe if you get a good jungle from an ally, you can start winning a little bit, but Cinder gets bullied in lane. Not incredibly bad, but it just doesn't perform well in lane. I would consider this in the slap me silly tier. It's just so unbelievably good in lane. Cramorant, honestly, I'm gonna put Cramorant in don't ever, how dare you. It's too good in lane. It's just not worth it. Almost every other Pokemon in the game is better. Same thing with Crustle. Don't ever, how dare you. Same thing with LD. Don't ever, how dare you. Garchomp I'd put in B tier. Still got that B tier for Garchomp. You know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm even putting it in the call and I'm asking you not to play this Mon in the jungle. I see a lot of the better Garchomp players, they play it in the top lane, really. I mean, I've seen some in the bottom lane too. It's just, I don't know. It's just such a tough Mon to play right now. It's one of the worst Pokemon in the game in a lot of ways. It's frustrating because it's a really cool Pokemon, but it struggles. It struggles a lot. Gardevoir, I'll say B tier. Right in there with Char. I think there are better options, but it actually kind of works as a jungler. It's just there are so many Pokemon above it because they use the experience better. And now that you evolve at level 5, I actually think you do pretty well in lane. If you just get past that early hump, that's all you would be looking for. Gengar is another B for me. It's all right in jungle. It's all right in lane. I think overall that's Gengar's whole thing right now. It just doesn't excel anywhere. If you have it on your team and you know it really wants jungle, it's gonna try to take it. So just let it have it. But I don't think it. I just don't think it shines there. It kind of doesn't shine anywhere in the game right now. But I don't know. Getting its level early so it has its Shadow Ball. It's useful. It's just not that useful. There are all these other Pokemon that I think are stronger. Greedent, Colin, I'm asking you not to play this Mon in the jungle. If you're gonna play it in the enemy jungle, that's one thing, but I think it's way better in lane than it is in jungle. I'm gonna put it C. I just don't think you need to play it there because I think it's more valuable other places. Greninja, slap me silly. Slap me silly, one of the best junglers in the game. Once Greninja becomes Greninja, it is a hyper carry. I really think it's one of the better ones. If you have a Greninja on your team, there's a lot of reasons to let that Greninja head into the jungle. Lucario, as I said before, I think Lucario can jungle, but I'm just going to put it in the call and I'm asking you not to play this Mon in the jungle tier. Of course it can. But why would you take Lucario out of lane where it's one of the greatest monsters in the entire game? Let it destroy the lane. That's where Lucario should be. Machamp, I honestly, this is one of the Pokemon I'm most... I scratch my head the most thinking of what to do with this Pokemon. I would... I like playing it in lane more. Honestly, I do. I'd kind of put this also in B. These Pokemon that are in B right now are kind of... They're not, I'm not saying all of them are bad, they're just kind of misfits in different ways, you know? Like Charizard takes a long time to level, so its laning's not great, and Gardevoir is just really weak for a while. Gengar is overall odd. He's just single target high damage. And then you've got Machamp, who feels like he's kind of forgotten. He's like the all-rounder that the game forgot a little bit. Even Garchomp, they keep trying to make it good. Machamp, they're just like, he's good enough. He is good. He's just, yeah. He's really close to being super viable, I think. Mamo, no. I mean, I'd put it in the Colin tier. You could do it, but what's the point? Why would you do that? Mime, no. Ninetales, no. Don't you dare. Pika, you could do it. It is fun. Pika is mean coming out of the jungle, but it's just Pika at level 9 as opposed to Cinderace at level 9. You'd much rather have your team Cinderace at level 9. And this is what we're doing here, is we're ranking sort of the priority of where to put these. The question starts to become, well, what is more valuable to get the experience? Because that is the point of the jungle. What's more valuable to get the experience? It is not Slowbro. It is not Snorlax. Sylveon, I'm putting it in the Colin tier. I don't think you should be playing it in the jungle. Not that it can't, but you don't need it. It will have its Unite move just by playing in the lane. It'll have its Unite move at 7 minutes just by playing in the lane. Talonflame, slap me silly. One of the best in the game. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Venusaur, I'd put it B. I don't think it needs to be in the lane. I think it's B. That's where I think it goes. Yeah. Yeah, I think it might be, it's probably better than all these, but you just don't need it there. You'll get either build. You'll get your Solar Beam or you'll get your Petal Drain Giga Dance build. Either way, you will get it. Wiggly, no, don't you dare. How dare you? Not that it's completely unviable, it's just, I don't know if you need to do that. Especially not in a, if you're in a coordinated team, you do whatever you want. You guys have come up with a plan, go for it. Zera Aura. I think Zera Aura is weird because Zera Aura is not S in my opinion. I think Zera Aura is A, probably better than Absol. It's just good everywhere. I'm not knocking Zera Aura. You want to play in the jungle? Great, it's amazing. Although I do think Cinder, Greninja, and Talon are probably better just because I think Talon is better coming out of the jungle. I think its ganks are more powerful. And then I think Cinder and Greninja just need the experience more. However, Zera Aura is amazing. I don't know. If you want to play it in jungle, play it in jungle. It's amazing. Decidueye. Decidueye is low A, and it might be high B. Here's the thing. If you're going to play Decidueye, it should be in the jungle. But Decidueye is so much worse than so many of these Pokemon, and that's one of the toughest things about it. I might even, honestly, I think I'm going to put it B. Like, if you're going to play it, you want the jungle. But I just wouldn't, I wouldn't recommend really, I don't know. I don't recommend it. I don't know if you could tell my thoughts on Decidueye. I just don't really recommend it. I don't. I'm sorry, Decidueye, but I can't with you. I just can't with you. I think it'd be B. I think it'd be somewhere here in B. I would maybe here. I think so. Serena. I really don't think you need to play it in the jungle, but you can. Here's the thing. It is really good. I have to put it A because it is really good. I just don't think you need it to put it there, but it is really good. I'm going to put it A because, yeah, it's really good, but I don't think it needs to be there. I think there are other places for it. Dragonite. Dragonite, slap me silly. So good. It just got released and it's crazy, incredible. Its Hyper Beam is amazing. So Dragonite, I definitely think you could say, slap me silly, buddy. Head up into that S tier. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Now we got all our Pokemon out on here. So the question is, who is the God tier right now? Is it Cinder, Greninja, Talon, Dragonite? I think these are all amazing choices. I honestly think Zera Aura, Absol, and Zarina, probably Absol at the bottom here, could all be in consideration for top tier junglers. Part of me wants to move Char up too, in some ways, honestly. I might. I don't know. Anyway, the point of this is to say that without question, the best jungler in the game is Dragonite. Without question. Dragonite getting level 8 is one of the most important things in the game right now. I do believe this will be nerfed very soon. That's just my opinion. I think Hyper Beam is incredibly overpowered. I think if you play Dragonite correctly, you will take, or at least almost take, highly contest every single objective in the game. not having a Dragonite at the first Dreadnought compared to the other team having a Dragonite at the first Dreadnought, you are at such a disadvantage if you have to play the lane and the other team is able to get not only maybe level 8 but level 9 and have its Unite move. It's just unbelievably good. It's too good right now. Its Hyper Beam is crazy overpowered. It is the best jungler in the game. Period. And not because it's necessarily built for it, but it's just because of how good it gets so quickly. Ba, ba, ba. I like to sing my songs. When you sing a song, people sing along. Sing a ding a ding a ding a ding ding dong. And when you're talking about junglers, the idea is, well, who's the best in the jungle? It's the one who's the best in your jungle. It's the one who's the best in the enemy jungle. It's the one who's in the jungle and the other side of the map. All game, Greedent. Nothing beats Greedent. There are the choices that get close. Of course, Greninja is amazing. Of course, Garchomp. You need it to get the experience, so Garchomp is amazing. And then there is that sneaky Ninetales pick that just clears the jungle so fast, and its ganks are so mean because it just kind of comes out, throws down its Blizzard, Avalanche. It has all this crazy damage, and then it can just make its way right back into the jungle and clear everything so fast. Some other notable things to look out for, Dragonite is, just released, pretty solid, kind of there in the middle. You've got your Pokemon that you would expect in the A tier, your Absol, Cinder, Talonflame, stuff like that. Interestingly enough, Zera Aura, really low on the priority. Same with Serena, really low on the priority. You don't need to do it. In fact, they need to be played in lane. So let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope this helped. And of course, as always, Crashy, God tier. What a jungler. See y'all next time. I love you.